Although Donald Trump lost some support from the debate, he's been making up for it on the campaign trail, having multiple interviews a week and having a meeting with Ukraine President Zelensky. We see this has been helping the former president with the polls as well. So today, let's take a look at the latest polls and what they are saying about who will be the next president of the United States in the Trump versus Harris matchup. We have new polls from Atlas Intel about who is ahead in each state. While I fill in the safe states for both candidates, let me discuss why this pollster is more accurate than others. Back in 2020, they were one of the most accurate pollsters, correctly predicting Trump's victories in states like Florida and Ohio, and also correctly predicted a close race in states like Arizona and Pennsylvania. They predicted Biden would win by a much slimmer margin than other pollsters said, which turned out to be correct. Atlas Intel uses online surveys and advanced analytics, which may have allowed them to capture trends that other pollsters, using traditional methods like phone polling, missed. They tend to use a data-driven approach with machine learning techniques to better model voter turnout and preferences. So what are they saying about this race? Well, we'll start in Nevada. Although some are predicting Trump will win, it is quite unlikely, as this state has voted for Biden in 2020 and Hillary in 2016. The fact that it has voted against Trump in the past two elections means that they probably won't this time around. But it is pretty close, as the latest poll from Atlas Intel puts Kamala Harris ahead by only 3 percentage points. This will mean that Nevada will most likely be voting for the vice president as of current polling. There was only one poll, if we take a look back here, that put Trump ahead, and that was at the beginning of September. Some others also put a tie, but most recently we can see Harris is in the lead by a couple-point margin. Next we have Arizona, which could go either way. If we take a look at current polling, Arizona has been putting Trump ahead pretty consistently. And this latest poll from Atlas, one again a very accurate pollster, puts Trump ahead by only 1 percentage point, so the race will be close, but Trump is projected to win back Arizona in 2024. He won it in 2016 and lost it by a very slim margin in 2020, and looks like he'll win it here. We'll move over to Minnesota, which does not have a single poll putting Trump in the lead. And with Walz being the vice president pick for Kamala Harris, Minnesota will be pretty safe blue this election. It has voted for the Democratic nominee for the past several elections, and continuing to put them in the battleground state category is just not accurate, even though it was pretty close back in 2016. A race that will be close, however, is Wisconsin. Most polls have been putting Harris ahead, but not by a very big margin. And a lot of these polls last election were pretty biased towards the Democratic nominee. But this poll from Atlas puts Trump ahead by a whole 2 percentage points. Something we haven't really seen a whole lot from these other polls, but we do know that this state can get very close. But as of this current poll from a very reputable pollster, Trump is projected to win the dairy state. Remember, Trump won it back in 2016, so this isn't unprecedented. But as usual, polls can and will change. So subscribe if you want to stay updated with the most accurate polls on YouTube. Michigan was a state that many put as a safe bet for Kamala. Even the betting market was showing a sizable lead for the vice president, and we can see why with Harris leading all of these past polls. But we now have a current, accurate poll that is shaking things up, putting Trump ahead, not by 1, not by 2, but 3 percentage points. This will mean that this is starting to look scary for Kamala Harris if she wants to win the White House. Trump winning Michigan would be a big loss for the Democrats. Next up, we have Pennsylvania. Both candidates have been working hard on campaigning in this state because they know if one of them wins Pennsylvania, they would have a huge advantage. Pennsylvania has been close, but Harris was pretty consistently leading this state. But this poll from Atlas once again is in favor of the former president. We even have another poll that puts him ahead. This would mean that Donald J. Trump would win the presidency, even if he loses Georgia and North Carolina. So winning this state is a ginormous win for Trump. But if we look at polls from Georgia, we can see Trump leads from this poll from Atlas. But to contrast this, if we move over to North Carolina, he's actually showing that he will lose North Carolina, a state he's won the past 2 elections. As we head deeper into the election season, it's clear that both campaigns will need to adapt to the evolving political landscape. Stay tuned as we continue to bring you the latest updates and insights on this critical election. Don't forget to subscribe to Groundhog Politics for more in-depth analysis and accurate polling information.